Suicide Squad number 23, written by Alice Cott, art by Rick Leonardi. So, last issue had a whole thing of them taking down this big body of other bodies, and it was in Vegas. Honestly, none of it matters. The only thing that happened at the very end was that it was revealed that the resurrection formula that they were using is temporary, and it will end up killing Deadshot and Amanda Waller, because apparently she's used it too. So, we see Waller is basically saying, hey, everything that's happened since the hack that allowed Harley to make a better deal with them and take over has all been orchestrated by a man named John Lynch. John Lynch was on Team 7 along with Amanda Waller. She shot him in the head because he went a little bit cuckoo, but apparently he survived. So as she's explaining this to James Gordon Jr., in his mind is playing the lyrics of I Want to Know What Love Is. I love that bit. I don't know why. He literally says, I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. It's perfect. So we see out in a foreign country, I'm sure we'll get the name of it later, Deadshot, Harley, Cheetah, and King Shark are each doing different things. Deadshot's just eating a sandwich. He's taking out a guard and he's got a sniper rifle set up. Harley's trying to go up to some other guards with a basket full of pies and guns. Cheetah is manipulating bees outside of a minefield. And King Shark, it says, working up an appetite as he stares at a guard. So Waller gives the backstory of Team 7 and all that to James Gordon Jr. And just like, okay, what was he doing so wrong? And it's just like, I don't know, he was just an evil guy. What does he need? And it's like, well, you're using a bunch of prisoners to use drones. So that seems like, calling the kettle black, right? And it's like, nah, they're death row prisoners. Totally different. So regardless, Gordon Jr. is just like, okay, well, whatever. Either way, you're the best boss I ever had. I hope this, is there any news on the resurrection juice stuff? And it's just like, no, I mean, yes, but right now we got to take care of Lynch. So turns out Lynch is talking to a dictator. It actually just says some country far away. And the dictator has talking to Lynch, and Lynch is basically saying like, yeah, no, look, we'll go ahead and work through this plan. You've got some big oil and gas reserves. Like, we're going to help you maintain control of them, but in return we get however much of the profits. So he's like, oh, and like, what's your plan? He's like, well, we've got a safe room and we're just going to put you in it and we'll take care of the rest. And he's like, okay, and if I don't come out of that safe room, you do understand you're a dead man, right? And he's like, yeah, no, totally, of course. So at this point, we see what the plan from Harley was, and that is that the bombs in their neck have all been removed, everyone totally bomb-free, and they are free to go after a year. After that year, they are still going to be informants for the rest of their life, but they don't have to be part of the squad. So that's the plan. So back to now, we see the plan starts going into action. Deadshot gets ready next to his gun. King Shark kills some guards and like he basically says like, this meat doesn't smell good anymore. Harley walks up to the guards protecting the palace and he's like, oh, don't freak out. I'm here with Murders Without Borders. And Cheetah starts running through the minefield outside of the general's office, and Lynch and the general see this, and it's like, what the heck is that? It's like, oh, that's Cheetah. She's outrunning the explosives. Sorry. And Lynch is like, yeah, no, this is Waller. He's got it all over it. Don't worry. We've got our own team. They take care of it. And as he stands there in the window and calls his own team, Deadshot shoots Lynch through the face, and he doesn't die, but the general's immediately like shuffled away. And Lynch is like, okay, team, definitely move now. So going up against Harley, who's killed a bunch of the guards, is someone named Crow Jane. We've got a guy named Lamplight going up against King Shark. We have a speedster named Impetus who goes up to Cheetah and says, on the ground, wench. And we have a woman dressed kind of like Wonder Woman who is standing on the back of Deadshot. And Deadshot's like, if you don't get off my back, beautiful, I'm not going to be able to kiss you. And she's like, I'm not impressed. So first we go to Lamplight, who tries to blast King Shark. King Shark just backhands him and says, "I'm going to throw you into the ocean. You're going to live, but you will remember that I gave you mercy." And so he immediately Lamplights out. We see another hero named Titan comes up, and he's like a wannabe Superman. And he's the one protecting Lynch. And he's like, "Why are we even walking when you can teleport?" But regardless, the general makes his way into the safe room. We see that the bees from earlier are special bees that James Gordon Jr. trained to send out to take out a minefield because they can smell the TNT or whatever. They just start attacking Impetus, and she just like, "All right, well, that's what you get for calling me a wench." We see Harley is facing down Crow Jane, who I guess has sonic screen powers, but before she can use them, Harley throws a pie in her face, and the pie has a landmine in it. So Crow Jane is dead. And then we see Deadshot and Amaze making out on the battlefield because apparently Deadshot, it was Gordon Jr.'s plan to give Deadshot some super extreme pheromones that would make it so Amaze could not possibly resist him. And they're just watching through the cameras with like popcorn. Waller and Gordon are. So finally, Titan comes up along with Lynch, separates the two of them, and he's like, "I hate weakness. I love purity." And Deadshot's like, "Hey, don't blame her. She couldn't help herself. I'm just that attractive to her." And so she gets knocked out. Deadshot's thrown to the side, and we see that Waller, once Lynch is out in the open here, has sent in numerous drones, and I mean like at least 12, all armed with warheads, and drops them on Lynch so that he was not able to survive it. And in Lynch's final moments, he says, "This was never just about you. You have no idea. I had plans." And then Titan and Lynch are blown up. Deadshot and Amaze manage to get away, and he's like, "Hey, sorry about that. The pheromone should be wearing off. It wasn't my plan, but if you got to do this, make it look good." And so she punches him in the face, knocks him out. We see King Shark comes across them. The general, who's in a safe room with 2 guards, is like, "Oh, did they think I'm just going to surrender?" And then one of the guards turns out to be Unknown Soldier, who just shoots him in the head, being like, "Nah, they didn't expect you to surrender." So all of them get into the helicopter. They start taking off. King Shark says, "Hey, Deadshot, if you're free, I'd love to take you out for dinner." And Deadshot's like, "What? What's going on right now?" And he's like staring at him, and Deadshot's like, "Are you smiling at me?" And King Shark's like, "Maybe." So I think King Shark has gotten the smell of the pheromones and is into Deadshot. But as we go back, we see that James Gordon Jr. is still staring down Waller, and it's just like, "Oh, I'm falling in love with you. I'm hope that you feel the same about me one day." And on the cameras, as everybody flies out, we see 2 figures flying in to where the Suicide Squad just departed from, and we don't know who they are. But that's that. This is a weird issue, man. This is such like it's so. You know what it is? It is James Gunn's Suicide Squad levels of just like zaniness and weirdness. But I like it. It's fun. It's a fun time throughout. It is kind of hard to follow at times because there is just so much going on, but all in all, the plots are pretty basic. So it's not that hard to, once you're done with it, think back through it and say, "Oh, okay, so this is what was going on," and da-da-da. So yeah, it's weird, but it's a beautiful weird. So I'm going to give this a 7.5. The only thing keeping me from the 8 is that some of the faces from Leonardi here are just weird, especially one cheetah panel, which I had to stop for a moment just to specifically take note of how wrong Cheetah's face looked. Like, it's awful. I can't even begin to describe it. But yeah, 7.5 still, though. I really do like the direction this book is taking.